All right, guys, it's Wednesday, March 7th. As you can tell, I've jumped off the Monte Carlo SS and got on my 55. I've got 28 days, maybe 27 now, before I have to jump on my customer's truck, and pretty much I'll have to stay on it all spring and maybe all summer. I mean, it's pretty much a full build. I'll still have my weekends to play with my own stuff, and after 5 p.m., like after supper, I might come back out here and work on my own stuff. But anyway, yesterday my buddy Bob, he brought me some angle iron to finish my body cart here, and then he helped me get my doors and my hood off. He had some extra angle iron, and I needed it for this back here to build a rail system for the casters. This is, I call it a body cart, but it's a chassis from a 56 sedan. I know it's 56 because of the VIN number on it. Sedans, 5, 6, and 7, they pretty much take the same chassis. Now the 57 and the front rails, frame rails at the very horns, I guess you call them, are different for 57. 5 and 6 is pretty much the same chassis, except hard tops have 2 extra body mounts over a sedan. So I had a 55 four-door sedan frame here, and I took 2 of the body mounts off of this frame and put on that one. A lot of the body mounts are the same, so it was the same part number body mount that I used. But anyway, when I bought this car and the guy delivered it to me, this 56 chassis was under this car, and this is the one they were planning on using under the car, and they'd already sanded it and painted it black. The frame horn was bent to hell in the front, so I had no plan to use it. It also had a pretty bad kink in the back there. So I ended up cutting the whole front of it off and building a brace across there and put casters on it. So now it's a roll around body cart. It is absolutely perfect for that. I can get to on my firewall, easy access on my firewall. I don't have to bang my shins on the frame rails. It's also up pretty high, so I'll be able to paint my rockers when I paint the car. I also won't be getting overspray on my freshly painted chassis, because I'm going to paint them separate from each other, so it's going to work out really great. Anyway, I'm trying to finalize my firewall. As you can see, there's a lot of work in that thing. This is pretty much why people just put custom firewalls in here that are pretty much flat. I didn't want to spend the money on one of them custom firewalls, and I'm still using a lot of the factory stuff, so I opted to just smooth this one and do some custom stuff to it. I cut down the front body mounts, and I made some covers. I may have showed this before in some older videos on this car, but it's just a cover basically that'll bolt on. I do have some rubber welting I'll put around it to keep it from chipping the paint, and it'll also keep it from rattling. These are pipe caps from my local steel supplier, and I stepped them. I have a lot of speed holes in the car, so it was kind of a theme on it. So I just think it looks pretty cool. I've never seen anything like this done before, so I tried to break out of the box and do something different from what everybody else does, and it's hard to do with this example of a car, because 5, 6, and 7s, they've been done to death, and so it's hard to break out of the box. The firewall is actually 2 pieces, and this upper section actually sticks out a little further than the lower, and there's a deep channel in there, so I actually use steel rod on here, and my hood hinge comes down pretty far, so I cut these pieces and sharpen the ends to a point, and then that way when I go in and bevel grind all these welds and take body filler on my finger and run down through there and block everything, it'll look like a bead rolled panel. Another one of the main reasons I've done that, I mean, it's hours and hours of welding and lots of grinding ahead, but it's uneven on the firewall here. This side has a nice curve, and then this side over here just kind of has a drop in it. So I kind of cheated it down a little bit and then just filled it up with weld, but it'll basically be even going across now. I'm still going to be using the factory rod style linkage for the accelerator pedal, factory electric wiper motor, factory heater box and blower motor. So I just, that's why I pretty much kept it OEM, But there's a lot of holes welded up on this thing, and I relocated holes for my engine wiring harness and my speedo cable, and engine harness, or starting harness is going to be under here. So anyway, I'm rambling on about the firewall. I'm going to try to get it done today. I want all the metal work done today, and I may try to get some filler on there. So that's the goal for today. I'd love to get it in primer tonight. I just don't know if I'm going to make it, but I am going to try. Anyway, I got a lot of work done yesterday. I'm pretty proud of myself, and then I still got to work on the firewall a little bit. So I've got all day to work on this firewall. I guess I can show you my chassis. This is my chassis. This was under the car. This is from a 4-door sedan I had here that's really, really clean. I built a Morrison style center in the chassis. Did that all with just tubing and stuff. And it really does work. Now I know why they make that. These 55, 6s, and 7s, you can literally, when they're together, you can put a jack up here and jack up the left front wheel or whatever, and that rear wheel will stay on the ground no matter how high you jack this side up. Now, after doing all that, you can put the jack up here and it'll lift that rear wheel off. That's how much it makes it rigid, just with that. So that's really cool. I still have to cut holes for my exhaust passages to go through there and build some brackets for my Borla. I had MagnaFlow mufflers I bought for it, but I ended up buying some Borla Pro XS stainless. I have a full stainless exhaust system to put on here, headers and all, and I am going to do it myself. I'll probably do band clamps and stuff, but I have hours and hours ahead of me on this chassis. There's a lot of work to do still yet. Trying to make this front area look really, really clean. So I welded in plate up here. This is a 2-piece chassis from the factory, and this is just, it's not very pretty. You really only see it to about here, but anyway, I plated this in and plated this in, and then I already started plating here, but I still have to plate here. Also, if you look at this, you can see down inside, and that's really hideous looking. And this side I already filled in, put some tubing in there for the bolt access. I do have to put longer bolts in here because I'm lowering the car so much. I need spacers in there. Anyway, tons more work to go, and hopefully I can get it painted in this 28-day thrash. After doing this, my drive shaft loop in the back I made is too low. Excuse me. So I've got to cut that back out, and I got to make a new one that's a little bit lower. I probably do the center one too because I want them all evenly stepped. So anyway, I've still got to make, these are shock mounting gears that I'm making. Relocated the shocks instead of having them go through the body. So I've got to end up tying that in back into the chassis and doing some gussets and stuff for strength. But anyway, this is the extra body mounts I was talking about that a hardtop has. That's pretty much the only difference between a sedan and a hardtop. Convertible's kind of all its own. It has I've been told this, I've never seen it personally, but I guess they have a big steel bar that is welded to the bottom of the frame rail going down. Tim Strange told me that. Used to have I think it was Search and Restore or something like that, show on, it used to be Spike TV. Anyway, this back here is, this is usually just channel, and I've got it plated in now. And of course my tape is nice and stuck, but that is actually from a valve cover, and that's the Chevrolet script, and I just butt welded in there and ground it, so it's embossed in the chassis. Not likely it'll be seen that much, but I know it's there, and that's all that matters, I guess. Anyway, I'm going to get after it, guys. I just wanted to give you a rundown of what's going on here and what I'm up against.